Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the, what's today's date? The 13th of November, 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight at AEW Full Gear. Full stop. I thought the show was great. I thought this was a very, very, very good pay-per-view. There were some things on the show where I was like, I don't know about that, or that was all right. But in retrospect, I thought this show was a really, really, really good show. Before we get into that, I do want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/PW Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. If I do this because I got a Twitter message because a couple of the outlets are streaming the media scrums right now. And so I've got someone watching it for me just in case any news gets broken during those media scrums. So if I go like this and look this way periodically, because I've gotten a message of something that was possibly announced or said that could be news at the media scrums. So if anything is said, we'll talk about it here throughout the review as well. But with that, if you are watching on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember that you can subscribe to the channel one of two different ways. You can subscribe either with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because if you're already paying Jeff Bezos for Amazon Prime, you take that Amazon Prime account, you take that Twitch account, you link them together, and you get some cool things like free video games, free stuff for video games you may own, and always one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to. And why not use that free subscription on us right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited? But also remember, if you don't have Amazon Prime, you gotta know somebody that does, whether it's your mother, your father, your auntie, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your dog walker, your milkman if you got one of them, your mailman, your landlord, your, I don't know, your auto parts guy, the guy that gave you some oil for your car at AutoZone, the girl that helped you check out your groceries at the Safeway. Say, hey, you got Amazon Prime? Yeah? Let me link it to my Twitch. Ain't gonna do anything, hurt you, or cost you anything, but it's gonna let me support some cool content creators, and then in turn, you can help us out. But on the other side, on the flip side, if you're helping us, if you're watching on YouTube, you can help us out in the live chat with a super chat or a super sticker donation. Also, remember that you can help us out, well, by subscribing, hitting that join button down below. In doing so, you get early access to news, early access to podcasts, live recordings for podcasts, and, well, non-news videos as well. Early access to all that stuff. Plus, if you're buying anything on the Epic Games Store or in certain Epic games like Rocket League and Fortnite, put this code in. Epic creator code PW Unlimited. Put in the code PW Unlimited. And you're helping us out. We get a kickback. Whether you're buying Fortnite V-Bucks, whether you're getting skins for Rocket League, whether you're buying the brand new Guardians of the Galaxy game, whether you're buying, what's that game? Jurassic Park Evolution 2 that just came out. There's so many different things you could be buying on the Epic Games Store. And if you do, put in code on the right side. It's going to say, on the right side, it's going to say, do you have an Epic creator code? You do. It's PW Unlimited. Like, you could go buy Battlefield 2042. You can go get Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which is on sale right now for $5. The Falconeer. Far Cry Primal's only $7. They've got a lot of games on sale right now. So go take advantage of the Epic Game Store sale and, in turn, help out PW Unlimited by using code PW Unlimited. But with that, we've got a pay-per-view to talk about, a 4-hour pay-per-view at that. So no more dilly-dallying. Let's get into it. So I started the buy-in late. And where I started was the Acclaim's rapping. And I go, oh, what are they doing here? And they're just trying to, I guess, recruit Dante Martin. That's the new thing. Everybody wants to recruit Dante Martin. I don't really know, because they kept showing Team Taz in a luxury box, saying that they're watching the show for a possible recruitment. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But we did get a match on the buy-in that I kind of watched but didn't really pay much attention to, so I can't really review it. It did go 12 minutes. It was Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter. I did see there was some stuff with Serena Deeb sitting in the front row. Her and Hikaru Shida kind of went back and forth, and then in the end, Thunder Rosa and Shida did pick up the victory. So going forward, we had the main card, which opened with a 22-minute match between MJF and Darby Allin. And full opinions here. I'm not saying this is a fact, and you don't have to agree with me. I didn't like the first 2 minutes of this match. It felt too choreographed with the whole one guy's on top of the other guy going for the pin, and they both arm up at the same time. One pulls the one guy. Whoa, arm up at the same time. And then, like, do some other things and this and that. And I'm just like, a little too scripted in my book. Like, it was very choreographed. Like, they had worked that out a couple of times beforehand. But then that sequence ends with both guys doing a kip up, and it was off to the races. These two had just an amazing match from that point on, in my opinion. Maybe you like the choreographed stuff at the start. Cool. That's not for me. It's just not for me. But also, I need to fix one thing. Give me 1 second, guys. Just let me fix something really fast. I actually forgot to save something that needs to go on the stream. Boom. Boom. There we go. All better. All right. So going forward. Like I said, I didn't like the beginning of this match, but that's just my opinion. They finish their little sequence and the crowd goes wild. AEW, 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 and MJF lands a sucker punch, dumps Allin to the floor. MJF hit a clothesline and tossed Allin back in the ring. But he got distracted by a fan, and Allin launched himself like a missile through the ropes at MJF to regain control. Allin then set up MJF for a coffin drop on the apron, but MJF avoided it and moved as Allin bounced off the apron to the floor below. Back in the ring, MJF dropped an elbow and got a near fall. Got a near fall. Where was I? Got a near fall with a spinning over the shoulder backbreaker. MJF slowed down the pace with a cross corner whip. Allin reversed a third cross corner whip and sent MJF into the turnbuckle. Into the turnbuckle. I was going to say right now, Gabriel Perez, you cause a lot of issues. We're not doing that stuff tonight. If someone has a crap comment in the comments, you don't need to come at them. You don't need to go at them because I will ban you. This is your last warning. So Allin had a bad back, and MJF's working over his bad knee. MJF worked that knee over like he was really hurt. Like, he did great. I don't know if the knee's really hurt, but he did great. MJF set up Allin for a superplex, but Allin hit his over-the-shoulder stunner from the middle ropes, which looked awesome. Allin came back with some slams and a headbutt to MJF's jaw. Allin then set up a second attempt at the coffin drop, but MJF yet again rolled away. MJF countered a Rana attempt with a sick backbreaker out of a powerbomb position for another near fall. Allin went for a code red, but MJF countered that into a powerbomb for a near fall again. MJF locked in a Scorpion Deathlock, but Allin countered by attacking MJF's previously injured knee. Allin followed this up with a chop block to the knee. MJF went after Allin's arm, but Allin kept up the attack on MJF's knee. He then locked in the figure 4 leg lock. MJF turned over the pressure, though, and Allin got to the ropes to break the hold. Both men struggled to get to their feet, and they exchanged some punches and whatnot. Allin then tried a suplex on MJF, but MJF countered with a jumping tombstone onto the apron. Actually, it was a superplex into, yeah. MJF then sold the knee big off of that tombstone on the apron. The two fought at ringside for a little while before getting back into the ring. Back in the ring, Allin went for a coffin drop yet again, but MJF raised his knees and both guys were down. MJF, because of the injured knee and whatnot, really sold it big time as Wardlow and Shawn Spears started to come out, but they were met by Sting and his baseball bat. Or as Tony Schiavone would say, it's Sting! Crowd started shouting at this point, fight forever. And I'm like, whoa, these two are going to fight for a very long time because this ain't the last time we see this match in AEW. Trust me. Back in the ring, MJF went for Allin's skateboard. He slid the skateboard over to Allin and offered him a free shot, trying to provoke him to get disqualified. Allin didn't take the shot as the referee removed the skateboard. MJF reached into his tights for the diamond ring. Behind the ref's back, MJF used the ring to knock out Allin and pin him 1, 2, 3. And the ref made himself look like an idiot. So, I think it was, don't correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Bryce Remsburg, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, who was the referee in this match. And so he's dealing with the skateboard. MJF puts the ring on. Boom. 1, 2, 3. So the ref's like on his knees, kind of like just came up from the pin. And he goes like this and he looks at green shirt guy in the front row. He's like, ring? Punched him with the diamond ring? And I go, ref, could you make yourself look more dumb? The fucking guy in the front row, you're conversing with the guy in the front row over what just happened that you blew the call? These refs in AEW are the most incompetent referees at times ever in professional wrestling. Like, the match itself was great, but the ref at the end, I don't care that he missed the shot. I care that he's in the ring fully in frame of camera, which you got to think at all times you're in the ring, a camera's going to be looking possibly at you, no matter if you're the referee or the wrestlers. And you're sitting there looking at the green shirt, tan hat guy in the front row, and you're like, hit him with the ring? Punched him? You're telling me he hit him with the ring? Like, no! Don't be doing that shit in the ring. You just made yourself look like the biggest idiot ref who needs to get fired. I don't want him to get fired. I think it's Bryce Remsburg. He's a great referee. But you made yourself look dumb like someone that's like, oh, so the fans got to tell you what happened? Yeah. AEW refs are fucking incompetent. It's either, in most AEW matches, it's either the referee blows a call, they're distracted, or there's a ref bump. There's a ref bump on almost every AEW show, and the refs are always fucking distracted, or they're not distracted. They look right at shit going on and just don't call it. Just don't call it. So stupid. So stupid. Going forward, we had a tremendous, in my opinion, tag team match. One of the better tag team matches we've seen in a little while. The Lucha Brothers defending the AEW World Tag Team titles against FTR in a 19-minute match. The action in this match was great. Just on par with probably one of the better matches of the night. The Lucha Bros had a cool little military-style entrance, I guess you can call it. Explosion went off, and there were some soldiers on the stage. Kind of cool. Ted Gulu says AEW Full Gear is the best wrestling show in 20 years. It's your opinion, but I'm going to say All Out was better than this show. I'm going to say right now, All Out was better than this show. But hey, that's your opinion, to each their own. So the match started off with a slow pace as FTR had the early advantage. Harwood worked over Penta with a chin lock and a forearm. Penta and Harwood took each other out with some clotheslines. Penta backdropped Harwood out of a pile driver attempt and then hit a DDT. Phoenix got the tag and hit both members with FTR with a cutter to get a near fall on Harwood. Excuse me. Phoenix hit a top rope knee strike on Harwood for another near fall. Phoenix went for a running DDT, but Harwood countered the move. Harwood and Wheeler then hit a combination assisted backdrop suplex to get a near fall. FTR went for the big rig, but Phoenix made a blind tag to Penta. Tully Blanchard then tripped Penta, and the distraction upset Harwood, or set up Harwood, to hit a Three Amigos on Penta. Not the only Three Amigos we saw tonight. There was quite a few references to Eddie Guerrero, and there's a few reasons why they did so many references to Eddie. This is the 16-year, I want to say, anniversary of Eddie's passing, but he also passed in the city of Minneapolis where they were tonight, unfortunately. Jade Cook says AEW refs just need more experience. Really? Because half these AEW refs have been refereeing for a decade and a half, if not longer. A lot of these AEW refs either came from TNA or the Indies. Like, a lot of the refs in AEW have been around for probably as long as you've been a wrestling fan. Like, Aubrey Edwards, maybe one of the more inexperienced as a ref that they have. But like Rick Knox, he's been refereeing forever. Bryce Remsburg's been refereeing for a long time. Tip of my tongue, what's his name? The guy that refereed the main event. Oh my God, why can't I think of his name? Why can't I think of his name? All of a sudden, my mind just went blank. AEW referees. Paul Turner. Paul Turner's been refereeing for a very long time. He's their senior referee. Like I said, Aubrey may be one of the least experienced as a referee that they have. Again, Rick Knox been refereeing for as long as I can remember. Paul Turner, Mike Posey, Bryce Remsburg. They've all been wrestling for other companies for a very long time. It's not just that AEW hired some guys that says, you're now referees, and have never reffed before. No. They've got some very experienced refs. Back to the match. Phoenix hit after the Three Amigos, there was an Eddie chant. Also, apparently, there was a big Eddie chant during the women's tag match on the buy-in because Vicky was out there. That doesn't matter. They're not wrestlers needing to know where the hard cam is and stuff, Jade. They're referees, reffing shows. They've got a lot of experience. All the ones I've mentioned, again, Bryce Remsburg and Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Mike Posey, they've all refereed for like ROH and TNA, which all had TV for 20 years. Well, 15, 20 years. Actually, no. Impact TNA has always filmed their shows for television because they started off with those weekly pay-per-views. And Ring of Honor, I mean, they've always been running pay-per-views and stuff. So, yeah. Most of their senior referees, most of the referee corps has reffed for televised shows for a very long time. Phoenix hit a rebound hook kick on a Wheeler at one point. Lucha Bros went for the Fear Factor, but Wheeler broke it up. FTR hit a spike pile driver on Phoenix for another near fall. The crowd is solidly behind the Lucha Bros at this point, though. Phoenix countered an assisted brainbuster with a small package for a 2. Penta and Phoenix went for the Fear Factor yet again, and Phoenix sprung over Penta and onto Harwood with a crossbody on both members of FTR and got a 2 count on it. Wheeler, the illegal man, because they put on their masks from, the Ranas, as they called themselves. Put on the masks, and they got matching masks, so Wheeler, who's not the legal man, slides in, tries to go for the pin, doesn't get it, gets knocked out, gets pinned. Lucha Bros win, but they pin the wrong man. Tully Blanchard and Wheeler trying to dispute this after the match, and nothing happens. Nothing comes of it. So I assume the story's not over. I mean, they still got to do the rematch over the AAA tag titles, but I assume the story's not over. FTR's probably going to come out on Wednesday and go, we were screwed. We were robbed. That referee counted the wrong man. So, yeah. Yeah. Next up, we have the finals of the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament. This is Bryan Danielson, or as I guess Jim Ross knows, Daniel Bryan. He said it 3 or 4 times. But going forward, it was Bryan Danielson against Miro. This match went 20 minutes long. I expected it to be a little better. I thought the match was really good, but I expected it to be great, and it wasn't great for me. It was just really good. Bobby G's got a good question here. I'm going to talk about for a second. He says, can someone tell me why WWE pay-per-view is going to air on Saturdays and why they are changing the lineup instead of Sunday nights? Basically, Nick Khan, I think he talked about this on the last earnings call, said that it just makes more sense to do it on Saturdays. You've got like the guys that work SmackDown on Friday, their week's supposed to be over then because some of them, like, you know, their stuff's supposed to be up. They work Friday, Saturday, and then they're supposed to be done. But then they work Friday, Saturday, then you gotta make them work an extra day. So it's kind of making guys have to work less dates. And also, it's more of a traditional night for combat sports, he said. So it just makes them seem more legit, I guess. I don't know. But not all pay-per-views next year for WWE will be on Saturday. There'll still be some on Sundays. And maybe it was the weeks they wanted to certain venues because they're running a lot of bigger venues next year. So maybe it was that the weeks they wanted those bigger venues, only Saturday was available. We had Miro versus Danielson. Danielson delivered probably like 10 shots to Miro early on. There were kicks to the gut, and Miro's just like, hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Wah! Kicks Danielson, and there he goes. Knocks him out. Knocks him, well, not out, but down. Danielson was sporting the remnants of a black eye before this match, and Miro had his right hamstring all taped up. Danielson went for a tornado DDT at one point, but Miro avoided the move and hit a shoulder tackle. Danielson came back with a flying clothesline and a drop kick to send Miro to the floor. Danielson went for a plancha, but Miro caught him with a forearm. He then suplexed Danielson onto the floor. Miro tossed Danielson into the crowd, over the barricade, and then into the ring steps. Back in the ring, Miro hit a pair of suplexes for a near fall. Danielson mounted a comeback with some kicks and some chops until, well, Miro caught him with a follow-away slam for a near fall. The fight went to the floor again, where Danielson sent Miro into the post, then came off the apron with a flying knee. Back in the ring, Danielson hit a shotgun dropkick off the top rope. The crowd started chanting, "Let's go, Miro! Miro sucks! Let's go, Miro! Miro sucks!" as Danielson battered Miro with kicks. Miro blocked the last one, and Danielson turned it into a sunset flip for a near fall. He rolled that into a knee bar. Miro almost tapped out twice, but eventually was able to power up and deadlift him into a German suplex. Miro follows the suplex up with the proper release German suplex, but came up selling his knee. Danielson flipped out of a back suplex attempt and caught Miro with a kick. He then laid in some knees to Miro's head and ribs. Danielson trapped Miro's arms and stomped a mud hole, as Jim Ross would say, in him. Danielson went for a flying knee, but Miro countered it into a powerbomb for a near fall. Miro locked in the game over, as he likes to call it. After Danielson teased the tap out, Danielson made it to the ropes to break the hold. At one point, Danielson went after Miro with some forearms, but Miro absorbed them and then leveled Danielson with a shot of his own. Miro then offered Danielson a few free kicks, and then Miro leveled him with a kick of his own. Miro carried Danielson up onto the top rope, but Danielson fought back with some elbows and forearms. Danielson caught Miro with a spinning DDT off the top. He then locked in a guillotine, and the ref ruled the match a knockout for Danielson. Danielson hits that DDT off the top rope, chokes out Miro, and the ref goes, you win by knockout. Very interesting way to call it. Not, wins by submission with the guillotine or anything. Nope. Called it knockout. So, that's a new thing AEW's doing. Matches won by knockout. With that, Danielson is now the new number 1 contender for the AEW World title. And in the media scrums tonight, Tony Khan did state that he is not putting a date on Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page for the title just quite yet. He said he's not ready to figure out or even announce or anything when that match is taking place. One second here, just to check something. Just seeing if there's anything from the scrums. I got a couple of messages. Also, if you guys are unaware, big ass New Japan show going on right now too. Started roughly 2 hours ago. I'm going to be watching that after we talk here. But all right, back to the show. We had Falls Count Anywhere Trios match that went 22 minutes and 20 seconds. It was Christian Cage and Jurassic Express against Adam Cole and the Young Bucks with Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa. So Young Bucks took Jungle Boy out with a double clothesline early. Luchasaurus took out both of the Young Bucks with a double clothesline of his own. Cole took out Luchasaurus with a chair, and Jungle Boy went for a powerbomb on Cole. Young Bucks then saved him, though. When Cole went for his signature taunt, Christian Cage caught him with an inverted DDT on the chair for a near fall. Where was I? Sorry. I got a message that was not related to the show tonight. But I'm keeping my eye over there just in case we get any news from that media scrum. Luchasaurus hit a German suplex on both Young Bucks at one point. And this is really when the match started going to a Falls Count Anywhere. They're fighting everywhere now. Jungle Boy nailed a pair of dives on Cole to the outside. The fight was all over. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy sent Cole headfirst into a chair. Cole came back bloody, like very bloody, as he got back into the ring. Chris Cage and Nick Jackson brawled to the back. Luchasaurus went for a crucifix bomb on Cole, but he slid out and hit a super kick. Everyone super kicked everyone. And Jungle Boy caught Cole with a Hurricane Rana over the ropes to the floor. This actually sent Cole through a table. Matt Jackson then dropped an elbow off the top to Luchasaurus, who was on a table on the outside. 2 table spots back to back really quick. Crowd loved it. I thought they were both really good spots. With everyone fighting at ringside, they kind of fight back into the ring. Chris Cage and Nick Jackson were brawling. Brandon Cutler tried to use the cold spray, but of course, Cage ducked his head, right in Nick's face. Nick and Cage brawled back to the ring through the crowd down the big old stairway. Back in the ring, Cole used a wheelbarrow suplex to send Jungle Boy into the edge of the ring. The Bucks found some thumbtacks and stuffed them in the mouth of Jungle Boy. Cole and the Bucks did the camel clutch super kick spot and got a near fall off of it. Mouth full of tacks from Jungle Boy. There was a ladder propped up in the ring, and Christian might have really hurt himself when he got his leg caught in the ladder while trying to hit a spinning DDT. Hopefully he's all right. I mean, he seemed all right going forward. Adam Cole took an electric chair from Luchasaurus into the ladder, and he chokeslammed Nick Jackson onto the ladder, where Nick literally just spring bounced right off of it. Matt broke up the pin attempt here and attempted to smack Luchasaurus around, and did with a trash can. Luchasaurus then chased Matt Jackson up the ramp, but Jungle Boy came out of nowhere and locked in a snare trap. Cole broke that up, still on the ramp. Christian went for the kill switch, but the Bucks broke that up. Several big bumps on the ramp were teased. Christian went for a spear, but Cole caught him with a super kick. Cole hit Jungle Boy with the Panama Sunrise on the entrance ramp, jumping off the entrance tunnel. Cole found thumbtack knee pads for every member of the Super Click. They then hit a 3-way BTE trigger with the thumbtack knee pads on Luchasaurus before Jungle Boy broke up the pin. And, a thumbtack knee pad spot really didn't affect the dinosaur that much because he came back and chokeslammed Nick Jackson off the stage onto the Stooges, and then fucking Luchasaurus does a shooting star press off of the stage onto the pile of guys. Like, whoa! They cut to Jungle Boy, and he's sitting there like, holy shit! Like, he literally goes, holy shit! I'm like, yeah, we're all thinking the same thing. Big man hits a fucking shooting star press off the ramp to the floor below. Good job, Austin. I'm going to call out real name because that's how great that was. Good job, Austin. With all this going on, Christian set up Matt Jackson for a concerto. Jungle Boy then asked to do the deed and basically turned himself from a jungle boy to a jungle man, hitting Matt Jackson with the concerto and pinning him to pick up the victory. Felt like this match did go a little bit too long. I thought it would have been better served at like 15, 16 minutes. Over 20 I felt just a little bit too long, but good overall. I just felt like it could have been cut back just a little bit. A match that I didn't like was Cody and Pac against Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. This match, take it or leave it. Too much infighting. Even with Black and Andrade, there were times where they didn't get along. Like, there's one point we'll talk about here where, like, Andrade's in control of the match and Black just slaps him on the back and goes, I'm in. And Andrade's like, what was that? He's like, let me get in this match. I'm like, you got two guys here and they're supposed to be partners, friends, whatever. They're fighting each other. Like, they're not, what? Cody and Pac teased dissension early as they didn't realize or they couldn't figure out who was going to start this match. Like, one guy was in, tagged myself in really quick. Like, Pac was in, Cody's like, no, I want to start the match. So Pac gets on the apron, no, I want to start the match. So Cody gets out on the apron. It was stupid. There were some big offensive moves early on, like a power slam by Cody on Andrade, which the crowd actually booed. Crowd hates Cody. The AEW fans booed the shit out of Cody Rhodes. Pac got worked over in the heel corner by Black and Andrade, but it didn't last too long. Cody got the tag and hit a cutter on Black. Rhodes teased the Tiger Driver or something similar, but got sent to the floor with a spin kick by Black. Pac was the legal man and hit an Acai moonsault on Black and Andrade on the floor. Everyone out of it. Jose, the assistant to Andrade, decides to go after Arn at ringside for some reason, and Arn punches him and then chases him to the back. Again, not needed. This match was too overbooked. Too much stuff going on with everything here. Back in the ring, the heels took control of Pac. Andrade hit a springboard crossbody to the floor onto Pac. Rhodes was still on the floor selling a spin kick, and the match was essentially a 2-on-1. Andrade hit a split leg moonsault for a near fall. Pac caught Andrade on the rebound and hit a German suplex. Pac went for the tag, but Rhodes was still selling on the floor. Andrade charged at Pac with a boot, then hit a slingshot DDT to the apron for another near fall. Pac caught Black with a super kick, and Rhodes finally was in the corner for the tag. Rhodes got the tag and hit Andrade with a flip, flop, and fly, and then a disaster kick on Black. Rhodes hit a reverse suplex on Andrade for a near fall, and then that move popped the crowd, so Cody did something right. Rhodes then hit a lariat on Black on the floor. So in the ring, there was a spot where I think it was Black was on the outside. Pac goes for the dive. Black pulls Cody out of the way, and Pac does like a Fosbury flop type deal over the top rope and lands on Cody. Takes out Cody. Back in the ring, Rhodes suplexed Black to the floor, and Black booted him over the barricade. This took both of them out of the match for a while. In the ring, Andrade went for the hammerlock DDT, but Pac countered and suplexed Andrade into the turnbuckle. Pac then hit a poison Rana and a black arrow on Andrade. But again, wait, no, I'm wrong. That was the finish. I missed a spot. Oh, here we go. I missed an important spot here. So Cody's got the figure 4 locked in. He's wrenching it, and he's wrenching it on Andrade, and he's wrenching it, and Pac just reaches over the ropes, tags himself in, and Cody's like, what are you doing? And he hits a 450 and doesn't get the pin off of that. Like, this shit was too overbooked, in my opinion. They tried to do too many cute things with these guys. They're only teaming up one time only because they don't like the other two guys. They're not really friends. But then there was times when the friends were supposed to be at odds and stuff. But eventually, like I stated, Pac hit a Poison Rana and a Black Arrow on Andrade to pick up the victory. Good match, I guess you can say, for a match, but they just tried too much. Then they followed up with another not that good match. It was Britt Baker versus Ty Conti. I don't know if I could be completely wrong here, and maybe she was just doing a great job at selling. But after the first like 60 seconds, Ty Conti just looked completely out of it. Just completely out of it. Like, I know my spots, and I know kind of the sequence are supposed to be going, but I'm just going through the motions. Like, Ty Conti just did not have it for something. There was just something there that was off. She just seemed off throughout the match. She was, again, could have been just a great seller tonight, but she was stumbling in the ring. Like, she tried to stand up and she dropped down to one knee. Again, could have been, I could be completely wrong here, and she was selling tremendously, but it just seemed like something was off with Ty Conti after about the first minute or two of this match. Both women had special entrances, kinda. Conti's was a little special, and Baker's was more special because she had the lead guitarist of Fozzy actually play her song on guitar. Early on, Baker got a pair of near falls, and that frustrated Conti. Conti came back to work his surfboard and teased a DDT, but Baker easily escaped. Conti caught Baker with some judo throws. Conti went for a Juri Gatami into the ropes, but Baker countered it. Baker. Oh, wait, hold on. I got something here. Let me just see what this is. Oh, yeah, nothing. Never mind. Where was I? Baker slowed down the pace. She got a near fall with a fisherman's neck breaker and then went for the lockjaw, but Conti escaped by hammering at Baker's still injured hand. They're still playing up that her hand is not 100%. Conti hit a knee strike and a pair of clotheslines to fire up the crowd. Conti hit a trifecta of pump kicks in the corner, basically just a bunch of haluva kicks. Then came off the top of the crossbody for a near fall. Conti hit a leaping kick and a released German suplex for another near fall. And then she really started to seem loopy. Like, she really seemed out of it from here on. Baker hit a hangman's neck breaker for a near fall. Baker then rolled through a suplex attempt and hit a curb stomp. Baker got the glove for the lockjaw, but Conti hit a cutter for another near fall. Conti was continuously frustrated by Baker's kickouts. Conti and Baker brawled onto the apron. Conti went for a Gotch-style pile driver, but Baker countered to an air raid crash on the apron. Back in the ring, Baker went for the lockjaw, and Conti made it to the ropes to break the hold. Conti hit the Thai KO for another near fall. Conti then hit the Gotch-style pile driver for yet another near fall. Rebel then distracts the referee, and Jamie Hayter pulls Conti out of the ring. Baker hits curb stomp off the apron onto the steel steps. Back in the ring, Baker went for the lockjaw, but Conti countered, and they wound up in the ropes. Conti hit a pump kick and sent Baker to the floor. There was also a spot where, I don't know if this was a messed up spot, it looked kind of, where Baker went for a move, Conti rolled through and was trying to go for the pin. She's like, holding it. The ref's like, your feet are on the ropes. I can't count this. Like, they rolled through too close to the ropes. So, like, it was weird because she's holding the pin and, like, the ref says something like, your feet are on the ropes. So, like, you see Conti try to, like, pull her feet in towards her chest to get him off the ropes. And the ref's just like, this ain't working. At one point, Conti took out Rebel and Hayter with the top rope, a moonsault that she over-rotated on and landed hard on her knees. So she goes for a moonsault. I don't know what she's thinking here. So Ty Conti's like looking like she's about to climb the top rope. She's standing there in the corner, and then she climbs out of the ring on one side. Then she climbs under the ropes, under the bottom turnbuckle pad to get over to the other side. Like, what the fuck is she doing? This is way too convoluted. Like this. If you didn't see it. Knock some stuff over here. I can get it. So you've got the ring. Ain't gonna work. Yes, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Come on. I want to go together. So you've got Conti standing here in the ring. And instead of just climbing up the ropes like she looked like she was going to do, or climbing out here and then up, she climbs out here, so she's here. Then climbs under the turnbuckle pad. And then up to the top rope. So convoluted. So convoluted. Anyway, she does a moonsault off the top rope, over rotates the moonsault, and just comes crashing down on both knees hard on the floor. She then hits Baker with a spinning throw. Back of the ring, Conti hit the DDT, got a 2 off of it. Conti went for a DDT again, but Baker countered into the lockjaw. Conti reversed this into a cradle, and Baker reversed that into a cradle of her own, held down Conti, and picked up the victory. 1, 2, 3. Again, this was a bit disappointing. It was a struggle to get through, and Conti looked out on her feet for... Conti looked out on her feet for most of this match. Like, there are times where she's down, and she gets up, and she's just like right back down to her knee. I'm like, what the fuck? She's like out of it or something. What? Vegeta Lover says, no surprise, the AEW is full of botched consistently. There wasn't really many botches on this show. Like, Ty messed up a couple of things, and really before that, I didn't notice any botches. I could be wrong here. Fucking Richard Gasca says, Ty had an edible before the match. No. I'm going to say something about that in talking to you about our next match. So our next match was CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. You say Ty must have had an edible. Eddie Kingston looked fucking high on out of his fucking gourd in this match. He comes out for this match, just no emotion on his face. His eyes are bloodshot. And I'm like, this man been smoking something or what? This man looks high as fuck. Like Eddie Kingston looked just, I don't even know. This whole match, he just looked not out of it, but he looked high as, like he just looked eyes bloodshot, puffy, like he'd been crying. I don't know. He just, maybe he did all that to make him look just weird for the match. But he takes on CM Punk in an 11-minute match, and CM Punk wearing UFC style trunks. Very interesting. So before the match even starts, Kingston nails Punk with a spinning back fist, nearly knocks him out, and all I think of is Chris Tucker and Friday. You just got knocked the fuck out. Punk then kind of rolls to the outside. Kingston is laughing, flips him off, goes after him, and they finally ring the bell. After a brief fight on the floor, the match goes into the ring. Punk hit a charging knee into the corner, but Kingston came back with an exploder suplex. Punk came back with a middle rope clothesline. The crowd booed Punk as they were chanting for Eddie throughout the beginning portions of this match. Punk hit some kicks to the chest, and Kingston countered with a poke to the eye. They fought out to the apron, and Punk caught Kingston with an enziguri. The fans were going nuts, cheering and booing for both men at this point. Finally, the crowd settled into, both these guys, both these guys, both these guys, both these guys. Kingston then sent Punk into the ring post. Punk got busted open hard. And Kingston wiped Punk's blood on his face. Kingston went for a pile driver on the floor, but Punk escaped with a backdrop. Punk hit Kingston with a flying clothesline from the apron. Back in the ring, Punk hit Cena's back suplex and teased a "you can't see me," and he mentioned this in the media scrum. Punk said in the media scrum, says he's, well, no, that's not what it is. There's another reference. There was a reference here. Hold on. He said something about, hold on. I had the tweet here. Man, now I can't find the tweet. But he said something like he loved teasing the crowd with that 5-knuckle shuffle. He loved getting the crowd all hyped up for it and then not doing it. Punk then hit the Three Amigos on Eddie Kingston for a great Eddie chant. Eddie Guerrero, that is. Punk went to the top, and Kingston caught him right up there. Kingston battered Punk with punches and delivered a suplex. Both guys pulled themselves up on opposite sides of the ring, then charged into the center of the ring at one another with punches. Kingston caught Punk with a boot and an enziguri. Kingston signaled for a GTS, and Punk caught Kingston instead. Punk was too out of it to go for the cover, though. Both guys were out against the ropes. Kingston went for a spinning back fist yet again like he did at the beginning, but Punk dodged it this time. Punk then sent elbows and knees into Kingston as the crowd began to boo CM Punk. Punk hit a second GTS, picked up the pinfall, and defeated Eddie Kingston in a pretty dang good match. I really enjoyed this match. Too bad that Kingston can never fucking win a match. After the match, Punk tried to extend a handshake to Eddie Kingston, where Kingston rolled out of the ring and said, "Screw you, Punk." And then the crowd chanted for Punk. Cool. CM Punk picks up the victory. So after this, they showed AWA and Minneapolis legend Baron Von Raschke sitting ringside. Oh, wait. We have some New Japan breaking news. Give me 1 second. The former Bronson Reed, Jonah Rock, at the NJPW show tonight. Great to see it. He confronted Moose, spoiler alert, after Moose beat Juice Robinson. He said, "Now the shackles are off and the real violence begins." Boy, howdy, does that sound. Moose versus fucking Jonah Rock? I'm all in. Hell to the yeah. Give me that match. Next up, as far as Full Gear does go, we had the Minneapolis street fight that this was just. This was, again, another not good match. There were 3 matches here that were just not good. So, this is supposed to be a street fight, and they started off with the guys on the fucking apron and 2 men in the ring. And I go, tags in a street fight? Well, that didn't last long. Because everyone's just fighting everyone. Because it started off with Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky. But then it broke down, and I'm like, okay, so is there supposed to be a legal man? Who's the legal? No, yeah, me, yeah, not. Never mind. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So, early on, they're fighting, and it's Sammy and Scorpio Sky. And Sky took a beating from Guevara early. Santana and Ortiz then came in and he did some stuff. Santana and Hager did an impressive spot where Santana held Scorpio Sky up for like 2 minutes in a delayed suplex, tags in Hager, and then hands Scorpio Sky over to Hager, who completes the suplex. Gabriel, you're living in a cave. Okada's had that belt since he won the G1. He said, I'll hold the belt instead of a briefcase. Bro, I don't know where you've been. Anyways, as far as this matches go, Junior Dos Santos gets tagged in, Jericho gets tagged in, and Dos Santos power slammed and suplexed Jericho. Dos Santos did a standing moonsault. Yes, Junior Dos Santos. Let me say that again. Junior Dos Santos, a man who is 6'4" and 238 pounds, hit an almost perfect looking. I mean, it was a little janky, but hey, he's learning on the spot. Fucking, what's it called? Standing moonsault. Just whoop. I'm like, whoa. Almost impressive. Well, just as impressive as Luchasaurus' shooting star, because Luchasaurus has done shooting stars and stuff in the past. I don't know how many times Dos Santos is doing moonsaults training for an MMA UFC heavyweight fight. But the match eventually starts to break down here, and everyone just starts fighting everyone. I go, oh, yep, now, I couldn't keep track. They couldn't keep track. Trying to show this match. Just shit happening everywhere. So my notes are not that great here. One point, Guevara hit a spinning tope on Page. Then Tanner Ortiz followed this up with dives of their own. And then Hager hit a crazy dive. Hager hit a crazy dive onto the pile of everybody for a huge pop. Excalibur clarified what makes this a Minneapolis street fight. It's because all the plunder at ringside is from Minneapolis. Like a big Prince sign that Jericho used to, as Excalibur said, bludgeon Scorpio Sky. And I think it was Jim Ross goes, you know, Excalibur, you've actually used that word bludgeon a few times now tonight. I'm like, oh, has he? Because that's the first time I heard him say it. I'm not paying enough attention. At one point, Andre Arlovsky helped Page beat up Ortiz. Hager then ran in and beat on both guys with a toaster. Not the only thing from a kitchen he grabbed tonight. Toaster. Knocks him out with a toaster. Jericho came in and hit both men of the year with a ski or a snowboard. I think it was a ski. Looked bigger than a ski for some reason, but not as big as the snowboard, so I wasn't really sure. Lambert pulled Jericho out of the ring before he could do any more damage. Guevara hit a springboard cutter on both of men of the year. Dos Santos sent Jericho into the steps on the floor. Guevara hit a senton Atomico on Sky for a near fall. More shit's going down, and all of a sudden Jake Hager has got a bundt cake pan. I'm like, well, this guy's been to the kitchen tonight. Hager, though, gets taken down. And Ethan Page gets in Jake Hager's wife's face. Like, hey, Katarina, or whatever her name is. Katarina. You like what I just did to your husband? And she's next to Baron Von Raschke, who then puts the fucking iron claw on Ethan Page. Santana then dumps Page into the crowd. This leaves nobody there but Dan Lambert and Chris Jericho. Jericho went for a line salt, but Junior Dos Santos jumped back in and caught him with a shot. And Lambert got a near fall. Jericho found a kendo stick and took Lambert to the woodshed. Lambert was going to go for the walls. Jericho pops up, pooh, hits him in the head with the kendo stick, beats him over the back with the kendo stick, and then grabs a stapler. And Lambert's like, don't hit me in the head with the stapler. So Jericho goes low with it. Hits him right in the crotch, right in the jewels. This then leads to Jericho knocking him down, going to the top rope, hitting a frog splash and picking up the victory before he looks up and says, "I love you, Eddie." This match was all over the place. I could barely keep control of it. Yeah, that's my review. I know more happened, but I couldn't keep track. A few matches were announced for this week's AEW Dynamite. Got some, let's see, where was I? TBS tournament. I think they said Shida versus Serena Deeb. Could be wrong there. No, that's not the match. Hold on. I just wrote TBS tournament match for some reason. I didn't write down the actual match. It is... Hold on. Shida versus Nyla, maybe? Hold on. I want to get this right. I don't want to be wrong. It is Shida versus Nyla. Also have the Acclaimed versus Leo Rush and Dante Martin. And the Butcher and the Blade will be taking on the team of Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii. Yeah, the fucking Stone Pitbull is coming to AEW. Jabber Robin says you forgot to mention the Purple Rain chants. Can't mention something I didn't hear. I didn't hear the Purple Rain chants. I can't mention something. I didn't forget to mention it if I didn't hear it, brother. Just saying. So then, Tony Schiavone goes, well, we're here. It's all out. We're in Minneapolis. This is a great night. But we've got something to announce. We have a new signing here on All Elite Wrestling. Let me introduce to you Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal makes his way out. Says, well, he's all elite. Jay Lethal also says that he's heard that there's an open challenge for one TNT championship. So, he wants to face Sammy Guevara. Not tonight, because Sammy just went through a big grueling match, but this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. Guevara walks up the ramp and says, you know what? I accept. So this coming Wednesday, it will be Sammy Guevara against Jay Lethal for the TNT Championship. And immediately, everyone on Twitter is like, why the fuck they signed Jay Lethal? He's got baggage. If you don't know the story, apparently, I think it was Kelly Klein said that people were trying to make what was it? Kelly Klein had stated that a Me Too claim was made against Jay Lethal, and Jay Lethal, along with some higher ups in Ring of Honor, tried to quiet people about. I don't know the whole story, but there's a story where someone tried to make a Me Too claim on Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal himself and some of the officials in Ring of Honor kind of got the person and some other people to stay quiet or tried to keep them quiet about it. Yeah, I don't know the whole story. It's like a year ago, but a lot of people brought this up tonight when referencing why would you sign Jay Lethal when he's got that much baggage. I'm going to pull this up right here. It was... no, I can't find it. Well, that's just great. But yeah, there was a Me Too speaking out movement against Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal kind of had it squashed it down. And yeah, which was very weird. Let me move on to our main event. This match was amazing. Better than their match last year at Full Gear, at least in my opinion. It was Adam Hangman Page challenging Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship in a 25-minute match. Now, everybody says that this match is 3 years in the making, that this goes all the way back to that first AEW press conference. No, it doesn't. Everyone says, well, Hangman said he'd be the champion. A lot of people in the last 3 years have said they wanted to be the champion. Hangman said that his goal was to be the first AEW World Champion. Well, brother, you failed in that and lost to Jericho. So now you are the fourth ever AEW World Champion. So to call this a 3-year story in the making, no, it's not. Maybe it's a year and a half once they realize, okay, Kenny's going to get the title here, and then Kenny's going to hold that till he loses it to Hangman. Maybe that's how long this has been a thing. But no. To call this a almost 3-year storyline and say that Tony Khan had this story in mind at the beginning, he even said it on the interview with frickin' Dave Meltzer, that he knew eventually Hangman would be a world champion in this company, but not from day one did he know that. He knew that they were going to push Hangman really big, but not from day one did he know that he wanted to culminate this year. No. Remember, Hangman said, my goal, I vow to be the first ever AEW World Champion. And he lost that to Chris Jericho. So, saying that he's now the fourth World Champion means that the story... No! This is not a 3-year-long build. Year and a half at most. With the whole... Him and Kenny were a tag team. They won the tag titles. They had dissension. They fought last year at the pay-per-view. Excuse me. So no, this is not a 3-year storyline finally culminating. Page and Omega exchanged hard chops early. Omega got an advantage after Callis tripped Omega up. No, Page up. Why did I write that weird? While Omega distracted the referee, Callis choked Page against the middle rope. Page came back with a springboard lariat on the apron. Then a plancha onto Omega on the ropes. Out on the floor, Omega rammed Page back into the ring barricade and into the ring apron. Page came back with a suplex on the floor. Back in the ring, Page came off the top with a crossbody for a 1. Yes, a 1. Omega caught Page with a thumb to the eye and pie-faced the Hangman for another 1 count. Omega dumped Page where Callis attacked him. Omega teased going for the buckshot lariat. Page came back, but Omega caught him with a Rana that sent Page to the floor. Omega followed this up with the Terminator dive. Back in the ring, Omega went for the You Can't Escape, and Page didn't escape. Oh, for long. He then did hit boots to Omega's chest. Omega raged in, and Page rammed him with more boots. Page hit more chops and sent Omega to the floor with a fall-away slam. Page followed this up with a suicide dive, then came off the top with a top rope moonsault to the floor. This got a huge pop from the crowd as they were chanting, "Cowboy shit! Cowboy shit! Cowboy shit! Cowboy shit!" Back in the ring, Page hit a brainbuster for a near fall. Page took Omega to the top for a superplex, but Omega fought out of it. Then, Page came back with a springboard off the top to a power bomb. This is a cool move. Omega then hit a pair of Snapdragon suplexes. Omega delivered a third Snapdragon suplex onto the ring apron. Back in the ring, Omega hit a V-trigger. Omega set up for the one-winged angel, but Page countered with a victory roll for a near fall. Page countered Omega with a German suplex, but then Omega came back with a Tiger Driver for a near fall. Omega at one point rolled to the floor, and Page came off the top of the ring post. So he literally takes the camera off the top of the post, steps on it, uses it to launch himself, and kind of sends Omega through a table. More like Omega hits the table, he hits the table, and the table kind of props up. Page then tosses Omega back into the ring. Page went for the buckshot, but Omega dropped out of the way. Page went for a V-trigger, and Omega ducked it. Page came back, the pop-up powerbomb, and went for a buckshot lariat, but Omega pulled the referee in the way. With the referee out, because what's an AEW main event without a ref bump? Callis tried to attack Page with the belt, but Page caught him. Omega tried to hit Page with the belt. Page ducked, and he hit the dead eye. Aubrey Edwards then bolted down to the ring. 1, 2, 2.999. Page teased using the belt, but then he dropped it. He knew better. Page and Omega began exchanging punches and forearms. Omega got the advantage and went for the V-trigger, but Page blocked the move. Omega hit the V-trigger on a second try, and Page came back with a rolling forearm. With both men now down after Omega hit a huge lariat, the Bucks slowly made their way out to the ring. Omega hit a backdrop driver on Page, and Page came back with his own backdrop driver. Page went for the buckshot, but Omega caught him with the V-trigger. Great spot. Omega went for the one-winged angel, but Page countered with a one-winged angel of his own and got a 2 off of it. Page then hit the buckshot from behind on Omega. Page then went on the other side of the ring where Matt was standing. Matt then looks up at Hangman and just goes, gives him the nod. Page hits the buckshot and pins Kenny Omega to become the new AEW World Champion. Now, where this makes sense. So, in the first ever AEW World title match, it was Hangman versus Jericho, where Hangman said, Matt, Nick, I need you in my corner. I want you out there with me. And they said, we got our own match to worry about. We got to take on the Lucha Bros. It's a ladder match. We can't. We just can't be out there with you. But now, not only did they come out there after Hangman told them not to this time, they were out there in support of Adam Page. Again, Matt gives them the do it. And there you go. I don't know if this is a babyface turn by the Young Bucks, if they're no longer with Kenny Omega. That I don't get, because then that would screw up everything I've wanted to see with Adam Cole. But we'll see where it does lead to. In the end, the Dark Order came out celebrating, cheering for the new champion when Hangman goes, get your asses down here. They run down to the ring. Big old group hug. They then throw Hangman up on their shoulders. The show goes off the air before Hangman can get a beer. Like, this would have been perfect with Hangman drinking as the show goes off the air, but no, he's on the shoulders of the Dark Order. Also, forgot to mention, very cool intro for Hangman Page that they filmed on Thursday night. Made it seem like Hangman was outside the building, comes in on the horse, and then boom, there he is. They actually filmed that Thursday night. But overall, I thought this was a really good show. 3 matches that I didn't particularly like, but 3 out of 10, that's a B+ in my book. I'm not saying the show was a B+. I'm just saying like the odds there. If I had to rate the show, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. 8.5. I'd go 8.5. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10 if I'm rating this show. But with that, that was AEW Full Gear. You know what I thought of the show. Now I want to hear what you guys thought of the show. Remember, you can always put in a super chat. Just, did I lose the super chat? Nope, we got it here. Just like Jonathan Hill did. He said, the Jay Lethal signing was quick. I hope Mia Yim ends up there because they need a bit more veteran leadership in the women's division. So with Jay Lethal getting signed so quickly, Ring of Honor told all their people, hey, if your contract's up at the end of the year, you're gone. If you want to go somewhere before that, we'll talk with you about getting out of your contract early. And that's probably what happened here with Jay Lethal. They let him out of his contract early. As far as Mia Yim does go, she ain't available till the beginning of February. She ain't beginning of February. So we gotta wait for that one. But also, if you guys do want to let me know what you thought of the show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. But let's check the polls first. First poll here is the Twitch poll. 80% of you liked tonight's show, and 20% thought it was just all right. As far as the Twitter poll does go, 91% of you liked the show, 6 did not like the show, and 2 thought the show was just all right. As far as the YouTube poll, 81% of you liked the show, 12% thought it was just all right, and 6% did not like the show. Let's check the text messages, see what you guys have to say. Boom, boom, boom. Got those here. As far as the text messages do go, what are your thoughts on Hangman becoming the champion? I love it. I love Hangman being the champion, but I have a feeling he ain't going to hold that title for long. Chris says, what was your favorite match of Full Gear? Also, now Hangman Page is the world champion. Who steps up? Who steps up to the Dr. Britt Baker in the World Women's Championship? I don't know about the Women's Championship because basically, other than Ty Conti, everybody's enthralled with that. Everybody that's a high level in the rankings are involved in the TBS tournament, so I don't know where they go there. As far as Hangman, it's Danielson. He's the number one contender. As far as my favorite match, probably the main event. Challenge for the tag titles. They're not done with FTR. FTR is going to dispute it, saying that the legal man was not pinned. This person says, just to watch Jericho do the frog splash, pay tribute to Eddie was an awesome tribute. Tears were coming down my eyes as Jericho was emotional. Yeah, great spot. There's any news on Kip Sabian and when he might be back? Hoping he goes straight after Miro. No clue. Haven't heard anything on Kip Sabian at all, which is unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here at twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. Just realized I spelled inner circle wrong there. Damn dyslexia. PW Unlimited. Twitch.com/PW Unlimited. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. We'll be back live on Monday talking about Monday Night Raw. So with that, guys, have a great night, and I'll see you next time. All right.